What if I told you the market's true purpose isn't to make you rich? That every flashing chart and expert opinion is just noise, an illusion designed to transfer money from the impatient to the patient. The uncomfortable truth is that most traders fail not because they lack intelligence, but because they are playing the wrong game. They believe trading is about cracking a hidden code, but the real game is about mastering yourself. The market is a mirror that reflects your discipline, not your knowledge, your impulsiveness, not your intelligence. Andrew Aziz learned this lesson the hard way when he lost $6,000 in his first 10 minutes of trading. That loss wasn't the market's fault. It was the result of a lack of preparation, a reliance on ego, and excitement over a solid plan. That loss, however, became the catalyst for a profound realization. Trading is not gambling. It's a craft. It's not about adrenaline. It's about precision. It's not about chaos. It's about ritual. The following principles reveal the psychological shifts and practical systems that distinguish amateurs from professionals. The psychological battle. Why most traders lose. The common feeling among many traders is that the market is a rigged system stacked against them. In reality, the most significant obstacle isn't the market itself, but the very biological wiring of our brains. The moment you place a real money trade, your brain's ancient survival mechanisms are activated. This triggers a fight or flight response, flooding your system with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. This neurochemical cascade, which was once essential for escaping predators, now makes it incredibly difficult to remain calm and logical. Your brain, in its primitive state, can't distinguish between the threat of a financial loss and the threat of a saber-toothed tiger. This leads to impulsive decisions driven by fear and greed rather than a disciplined trading plan. To succeed, a trader must learn to recognize and manage this biological reaction, creating a gap between feeling the emotion and taking action, thereby transforming a primal disadvantage into a conscious, controlled advantage. Studies show that losing money activates the same brain regions as physical pain. This is why a trader may see a setup, enter a position, watch it go red, and then double down in a desperate attempt to average down. This isn't a strategy problem. It's a human problem. The market is a feedback machine that ruthlessly exposes every psychological weakness. Your fear of missing out, FOMO, your need to be right, and your inability to accept small losses. Professional traders don't have different emotions. They have different responses. When they feel fear, they don't suppress it. They check their plan. When they think of greed, they don't chase. They remember the dangers of overconfidence. The key to this psychological mastery is creating a space between your feelings and your actions. Before you trade, try to objectively rate your emotional state. If you're experiencing intense fear, greed, or anger, stepping away is the most profitable decision you can make. The professional's toolkit, systems, and discipline. Winning in trading has nothing to do with the result of any single trade. Amateurs often fixate on their win rate, mistakenly believing that a high percentage of winning trades is the ultimate measure of success. The professional, however, understands that it's about correctly executing every trade according to a predefined plan. This means following your entry and exit rules, adhering to your risk management strategy, and maintaining your position size, even when your emotions are telling you to do otherwise. A losing trade that followed all the rules is a success for your discipline and process. A winning trade where you broke your rules is a failure, as it reinforces bad habits that will eventually lead to a significant loss. This professional mindset requires a robust toolkit that goes beyond a simple strategy. It includes a concrete trading plan, precise risk management, and the emotional discipline to view every trade as just one event in a long series. By focusing on the integrity of your process, you build the consistency and psychological resilience needed to let your statistical edge play out over the long term. A trading plan is your armor. Every trade you make without a plan is a gamble with your capital. Andrew Aziz's first loss taught him that the market respects only preparation. A trading plan isn't just a suggestion. It's your armor against emotional decision-making. Before you click buy, you must know your exact entry, stop loss, and profit target. You must also calculate your position size based on risk, not hope. This preparation allows you to accept a potential loss before it even happens, transforming it into a pre-calculated business expense rather than a personal failure. Mastering one strategy. Amateur traders constantly search for a new, perfect strategy. Professionals, however, find one strategy and master it through repetition. Andrew Aziz traded profitably for years using one simple setup, the opening range breakout. The power of this approach isn't in the pattern itself, but in the muscle memory and nuance gained from executing it over and over again. After hundreds of trades, your execution becomes automatic, leaving mental energy for emotional management. One strategy mastered is far more profitable than 10 strategies memorized. Losing correctly. The most important skill in trading isn't how much you make when you're right, but how little you lose when you're wrong. Professional traders are often wrong 40 to 60% of the time, but still make money. They do this by mastering losing correctly. Before any trade, a professional defines the exact amount they are willing to lose, typically 0.5 to 1% of their account. This predefined risk makes a loss a business expense, not a personal defeat. The math of recovery is brutal. So protecting capital is the most offensive strategy a trader can have. Building your professional trading environment. Success in trading isn't about luck or finding a magic bullet strategy. It's about building and adhering to a professional framework. This framework is composed of two critical pillars, a disciplined process and a well-thought-out environment. Together, these elements remove emotional decision-making and create the foundation for consistent, long-term profitability. Risk management is your profit engine. Risk management isn't the boring part of trading. It's the only part that guarantees you'll be around long enough for your edge to play out. Andrew Aziz's formula for success is to first define the acceptable risk per trade, e.g., 1% of the account. Then calculate position size based on the distance to the stop loss. This removes emotion and creates a psychological freedom, because every trade, regardless of the shares bought, risks the same amount. The right tools and setup. Using a subpar trading platform is like performing surgery with a butter knife. Professional traders use direct access brokers with millisecond execution, customizable hotkeys, and data like level 2 and time and sales. Their setup is simple. They focus on price, volume, and order flow, avoiding the clutter of unnecessary indicators. The best tools are those you don't even have to think about because they just work. Journaling for profits. If you're not journaling your trades, you're gambling with amnesia. A trade journal is your feedback loop. By documenting every trade, along with your emotional state, you can identify repeating patterns. Andrew Aziz discovered he lost money every Friday afternoon due to fatigue, a pattern he could only see after consistent journaling. A journal turns a wasted lesson into actionable intelligence, about your most dangerous opponent, yourself. Simulation training. Trading with real money before you're ready is a recipe for disaster. Professional traders treat a simulator like an athlete treats practice. Full intensity, real rules, and serious review. Simulation allows you to make every mistake safely, building the competence and muscle memory required to execute flawlessly under pressure. When the time comes to trade with real money, your brain will recognize the patterns, and the process will feel familiar, not terrifying. The professional's lifestyle, consistency, and growth. Trading success looks nothing like the flashy stereotypes often portrayed on social media. It's not about Lamborghinis and trading from a beach with a laptop. In reality, sustained profitability is the result of a commitment to a consistent and often boring routine. The psychological shift from seeking excitement to embracing monotony is the single most important change a trader can make. The boring road to wealth. Amateurs seek excitement, but professionals seek consistency. Your best trading days will feel boring because everything goes according to plan. This is because profits compound from a repeatable, disciplined process, not from dramatic home runs. The paradox is beautiful. The more boring your trading becomes, the more freedom and choices your life will have. Recovering from red days. Every professional has a red day, but they also have a comeback protocol to prevent a single loss from becoming a terminal one. This protocol includes immediately shutting down screens, engaging in a physical reset, and conducting an objective written review. This strategic recovery preserves both capital and emotional sanity, preventing the self-destructive spiral of revenge trading. Identity transformation. You don't get the results of a professional trader until you become a professional trader. This identity shift happens through consistent actions. A trader follows their stop loss because traders manage risk. A trader journals because traders learn from data. By consistently acting as the trader you want to be, you rewire your brain, making disciplined behavior second nature. Finding your tribe. Trading, by its nature, can be an incredibly isolating profession. Operating in solitude, a trader is often left to face their psychological demons alone, with mistakes going uncorrected and bad habits becoming entrenched. A serious trading community, however, transforms this isolating journey into a supportive, collective effort. These groups are not platforms for copying trades or chasing hot tips. Their true value lies in providing an environment of accountability, transparency, and constructive feedback. Members often share their pre-market plans, publicly documenting their reasoning before the market opens, which forces a higher level of preparation. They openly review both winning and losing trades with screenshots, allowing others to offer objective critiques. More importantly, they create a space for discussing the psychological challenges of trading without judgment. This continuous interaction helps traders absorb higher standards of discipline and professionalism. When you're surrounded by others who respect risk, follow their stop losses, and celebrate a well-executed plan over a lucky win, your behavior naturally improves. This social reinforcement stabilizes your psychology and dramatically accelerates your learning curve, turning a solitary struggle into a shared path toward mastery.